quality is one thing that you don't just come across anywhere, and that's one of our selling points. Our quality, we pride ourselves in quality bags. When I say quality, mark on quality, because quality is not beans. So quality, we pride ourselves in making bags that stand the test of time, bags that you can pass down generations, because we use leather, pure leather. So, and then our designs are, timeless, they are elegant, they are simple, quite all right, but they have that edgy feel to it. So that's one of the things that Toast Afrique stands for. We stand for quality, we stand for elegance, we stand for, even though simplicity but edgy, we also stand for that. So I and my friend, one day, we found ourselves outside Nigeria, and so we hooked up somewhere in the mall. So we're just doing shopping. Well, we go window plus shopping for leisure. And so one thing jumped at me. We were entering shops from one to the other, and then, the store attendants, they pride themselves in telling us where they are made from. And they would say, this one is made from Europe, this one is made from Asia, this one is made from China. So they would tell us this is made from here. It's just so that they tell us where they are made from and to tell us the, what I would say, the quality, right? And I just said to my friend, wait a second, what is happening here? Isn't there anything made from Africa? At least they could see that we are, people of color. Can't we just say, I just said it, when you just say something out of the blue. And I said, I've always been drawn to bags and shoes. But then I was like, so where are these that are made from Africa? I said, no, sorry, madam, there's nothing made from Africa. I said, oh my goodness, what's happening here? Who is representing us in the international market? And then you are back home, you realize that people are actually buying things that are made from the same Europe. They are not selling our things outside. We are not selling them even locally. So I decided to change the narrative. I said, you know what, let's represent ourselves. Let us put ourselves out there. We can do this. And when we have to start doing it. So that was how the journey started. I started by researching on what we have on the ground. What's our leather industry, what the capacity that we have, and what people are doing. Of course, there are people that started this bag thing before me, right? So I reached out to a couple of them. I asked them questions, what the industry is like, what are your challenges, how I can make impact, right? A difference in the industry, that it doesn't make sense if people are already there. What are the challenges? So I started by getting trained, right? I got trained in the leather handbags making, leather. I found someone that can train me. He's an elderly man. He's into this for like 20 years. So I got trained for like a year with him. So he was the one that taught me, pattern, how to leather bag constructions, identifying leathers, because identifying leather is something also, because a lot of people don't know the difference. They just know leather is leather and leather is not leather. So he taught me that, identifying leather, and also do a lot of self-study. Like every other entrepreneurs, you have to self-study. There is nothing like you have known it too much, or there is nothing like, I have enough experience. So I did a lot of self-study as well. I have to train myself, study, read up, look through every videos I can find on YouTube that said anything about leather and bag making. So that was how I started. So when I feel like, okay, I have enough information and experience to launch, so I launched Toast. 2016 was the first bag I made. I made it myself. It was a purse. I made it myself. Don't ask me how that went. It was a very, simple purse, but I was proud of it, right? I was proud of the fact that, yes, it was something I've been thinking of, because that was 2012 was the first time I said, I was proud to say, okay, yes, I've gotten started. And I know that time that it can only get better from there. So leathers are in different categories, right? So we have leathers that are made from synthetic, and we also leather that are made from animal skin. So we use leather that are made from animal skin are considered premium, right? Because they are byproducts of the meat industry. So we made our bags from leather made from animal skin, because they are byproducts of meat industry. So that's what we use to make our pomo, right? So some goes into pomo, and also some goes into making leather, because it's durable. And that's one very important, advantage of using animal skin. It's breathable, it's durable, and it's been existent for. I mean, leather is one of the first things that was that was clothed. I mean, human beings clothed themselves in, if I may say so. And so leather has been from the 16th, 15th century. So leather is what we use to make our bags and our accessories. After the first one, of course, I showed it to family and friends. Look what I made. What did you think? I got feedback, right? And then, so one thing to the other, so when I put the team together, I started from my house, actually, like a small space in my house, a team of myself and one other person. We worked on a few pieces, like 1, 2, 3 bags. Right? So I started by selling one. I remember the first person that bought one from me was a friend of mine. I actually bought it for his girlfriend, I remember that time. And I was super excited because that was the first sale. So that gave me courage. And then a friend of mine from university bought one from me. And then that was how it got started. And yeah, one bag in 1, 2 months. And then we improved to 2, to 3, and then to 4. And then here we are today. The first challenge I faced actually was the skill set. So I started Toss Afrique because I had like a goal in mind. My goal is to make bags that industry standard, not local standard, international standard. So when you have that kind of goal, you know, it comes to big, huge responsibility and task. So the first challenge I had was people that would buy into that idea, right, with me and say, okay, you know what, yes, this is your idea, this is your dream, then we can do it. So when I started, I realized that, oh, yeah, some people who have started, people that I met that are importing, they've already started, but how were they doing it? I couldn't figure it out on time. So one of the things, like I said, put a team together, okay. So when you get your staff, you have to sell the idea to them. There are so many people that are making bags, but they are selling to, you understand? But you have a target that you want to sell, you want a particular standard. So I have to keep bringing into their ears. This is not only for Nigeria. We are putting ourselves, we want to represent, we want Nigeria to be represented abroad. So the standard was pretty high. So that was one of the challenges. And the skill set for that kind of standard was something that was missing, right? Because they say, oh, they can do it. That's what I realized. They can actually do it. But because there was really, the demand was not so much in that space. So a lot of them, they were fine at a particular level, but you have taken them back to, you know, like, this is the standard. So it became a challenge because it takes more time to get something of good quality, actually. It takes time. And that time is a lot of things that people in that industry don't joke with because they want to do it, they want to get it done, and then move to the next one, which is not going to happen. It's what I had in mind. So skill set is one of the challenges, if I may answer the question. Skill set, artisans that would do the right thing, what you want, exactly how you wanted it, is one of the challenges that we have. Another challenge that we have in this industry is actually electricity is one of the challenges, power supply. You have power today, you have, you know, so it's one of the challenges that we have. Because production, if you keep stopping your production, when you have target, it's going to affect your business at the end of the day. That's one. And access to good quality leather. It's one of the challenges that we have. It's a challenge because you have to know what you want, because recognizing good quality leather is actually a skill. If you don't recognize good quality, then your end products, you've missed it, right? All leathers are not born equal, like I used to tell my friends, some of my customers. So you have to also know this quality of leather that can work for my, kind of bag. So those 3 challenges, I think I'll raise them at the first 3. And of course, you have some other challenges like local acceptability in the local market. I realized that Nigerians, we are one, if not one of the most sensitive, high fashion taste people. So when people see good quality product, they know it, right? They can say, oh, this is it. So when I start showing them the product, say, are you sure this is made in Nigeria? All they needed to hear is that, give them that quality assurance. and say, yes, we give you quality, this is assurance. Once you give them that assurance, and they can see it, they can see no thread hanging somewhere, no gum, they can feel it, they can touch it, they can feel it. So we're already like 60% there. And then the fact that it's made locally, we pride ourselves in making locally, and so they buy into that. It's quality, it's good product, you gave me assurance, and it's made locally. I mean, they of course, it's still a journey, right? I won't say, oh, we are there, we have all the markets, no. But what I've seen, I mean, people are warming up to it. I have some of my customers, right? They'll say, oh, Toss, when I travel abroad, I don't bother to buy any bags abroad. That's out of my shopping list. I know I can get something here locally. So that gives us hope with our manufacturers here. It gives us hope that people are, those are the customers that goes abroad during their summertime that shops abroad. They don't do it anymore because we gave them that assurance. And year after year, they realize that, oh, quality is there. I have had some of my customers that bought our first set of bags 2006, 2017, and they are still using it now. And another thing that I think I like, that I have to mention, is after-sales service. You don't get that mostly with international brand. After-sales service is something that is missing. So anything can happen. They come back to us. They say, oh, something I just like. So that accessibility is there. That is a local brand. And you can get after-sales service. It's something, it's the USP that a lot of local brands, they are enjoying with us. Because before you ship your bag, if you get it abroad, they even listen to you by the time you brought it here. Before you ship it abroad and get whatever it is that you think is wrong with it fixed, before they ship it back to you, you probably will even pay for shipping, right? Which might even be like the cost of the bag itself. So buying local is something that I think a lot of Nigerians are warming up to. They like it. Of course, we are still there. We are still putting the word out there. We are still telling them, people that are not on board yet, we are still, getting them to buy into it, but people are really warming up to it, and I'm proud to say that. So social media has been of help, and I also say there is a Lagos Leather Fair that I'm proud to be part of the exhibitors. So people come from everywhere. We attend exhibitions as well, been to 1 or 2 exhibitions, social media, words of mouth, and we are here in one of the biggest stall in Lagos. So I feel like we've done a little bit of job to get the word out there. It's still a work, it doesn't stop. We keep pushing, but we are not where we were 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? So it's a work in progress. We keep pushing. We keep getting the word out. But social media has been a web. Instagram, Facebook, our own website, Leather Fair, being in a good location also. From online, we're online, basically online, and then the store came in, right? It was a growth that took us this 2017, 18, right? Precisely, we came to the mall, 2018. So it wasn't a day like we started from the mall. No, I started from my house, like I said, and then team, and then we're online, selling through Instagram, selling through all our social media channels and referrals. And then when the time was, customers will ask you, we want a place that we can come to, right? I want to bring my friend to see your bags. I want a place that can come in and pick some of the things. So we partner with this Bikabani, and we are here. So it's one of the growth I think we've enjoyed. Leather Fair is one of the growth, a very significant growth for us as well. Because when people come to Leather Fair, it gives us that credibility that, okay, they are part of, like a body, Lagos Leather Fair. We've been there for like 3 years in a row now. So those are and we've done exhibitions, like I said, we've done exhibitions. Of course, we are looking forward to international exhibitions. We will have been, no thanks to COVID, we'll have attended some during that 2020, but we put that on hold. And then this year, we're going to restart that. Quality is really, really, really a challenge in this industry. And you know that when you're making a leather product, once you stitch, that's it. Once you have a hole, it's not like clothes that you can say, oh, I made a mistake, let me open up, and then, Once you put your needle on a leather and there's a hole, that's it. That leather is gone. Leathers are not cheap. So quality is the problem, and then if you are not now careful about that, so you can easily lose a lot of money if your quality control is not good. So quality control is one thing. So that skill set to get that quality. Leather artisans are, they don't just get good like that. So a lot of leather artisans, they have like 15, 20 years experience. So I personally make sure that any artisans that will work with us Afrique, you have that experience. And we don't have that experience yet, we don't push you to a particular place. You have to start and then learn that quality, because by the time you are there, you can move to a particular level and say, okay, you are fine with us. So we get experienced artisans. That is one thing that I think we've been doing in this industry. I personally have been doing with the business. You have to be somewhere. Like there's a place you have to be before you can. I can say, okay, come in to the team. So if you are not there, if the person is really, really ambitious, yes, we can take you in, but you will not be at a particular level. You will not be finishing. You know what I mean? You will not be a finisher. You will not be like, maybe you start with applying or something where your skill set can, right? And then when we see that you have really moved, then we can now put you to a place that we say, okay, we are comfortable with it. But so standard and that quality is a challenge. To get quality product out, it's not so easy. Government regulations, basically leather industry, to the best of my knowledge, I stand to be corrected. I'm not so sure it's heavily regulated, right? But having said that, I know that government is also doing some things so our leather industry in Nigeria is actually very funny, because we have leather quite all right in Nigeria, but a lot of it, we manufacture, but we manufacture to a stage, then we export to Europe, finished, and then we import. That's the leather industry. So I think that government hasn't really done a lot of, too much regulation in that space. And so, of course, that's why we have local brands. By the time we have so many local brands here, manufacturing here and exporting, and then we can say, okay, tanneries will start springing up that can do finished leather products. Because that is where we think, where we are aiming at. God willing, I see us really playing big in international market. I'm currently undergoing a training right now, and so the lady, my coach, said to me, you know what, this brand will do so well internationally. I said, I know. So I see us play big internationally. Having said that, I also feel like we need to penetrate the local market more. So I also see us maybe having stockists, having distributor in places, the major cities across Nigeria, and then also doing a lot of social media awareness, a lot of more exhibitions. So 5 years time, I think that by now I should be counting more than my fingers where we have been, where Toss Africa have been internationally. Like I should be running out of the list. So we currently do slides, but making shoe is one thing that I think we would like to do. We currently don't have the capacity to do that, right? But I think I can say we've perfected bag making. So in the next 3 years, we're going to see what we can do in the shoe industry. And see, one thing I don't joke with, like I said, is quality. So I wouldn't want to churn out a product or products that people will say, oh, Toss Afrique shoes gave way when I was working. So we want to perfect that. So shoe, yes, we still want to do shoe, but it will come at the right time when we're ready for it.
come to my shop, and you have my contact, you have my number. You can if you are not able to come to my shop and you have my contact, you have my number, you can easily call me or book me ahead and let me come to your offices, to your home, you know, anywhere to come and give you a wash. Engine wash, interior detailing, anything that we are doing in my shop on ground, we can as well do in this mobile wash for you. So it makes you, you know, it makes you to be flexible around your job, so to say. You can be in your office, then I'll be doing your wash. You don't have to get done with the office job and then be thinking, okay, at the end of the day, I have to stop by at the car wash and then get the wash. No, you just call me, be in the comfort of your office, then I'll do the job for you at your comfort. I got into this car wash business because it was an inspiration from God, and though I had lists of different jobs on ground, but I narrowed it down to car wash. When I scouted through my area, I figured out there is no car wash at all, and I think, okay, if I have a car wash within my area, and it will be, you know, a plus, not only for me, but for my community at large. I had this empowerment program going on, so I let that out last year, I think October. So, and the response was quite, you know, fair, because it is new in Lagos, so to say, and it is new to the environment that I am. But at the same time, I have boys working with me, and as well I have the females who are working with me. Some of them, they are working as apprentices, and some they're actually working, you know, to earn their living. So I do appreciate them all for coming to support me and my environment. I guess they were surprised at first, and also, you know, it took them time for them to really accept me into the business. And to my customers, it was a wow to them. My customers, it was a wow to them. So at the end of the day, they accepted me because they don't just see me sitting down doing nothing, but I'm in the job. My workshop is based on hands-on work. So that's what we get done in my workshop. So they don't just see me sitting down, directing, supervising, or, you know, just talking to them, or, you know, being in sales. No, I'm with them, doing the job, getting it done with my bare hands, and they like it. So I am accepted by everyone now. It has been good, it has been awesome, and so far I'm able to put myself together, and with my boys I'm able to negotiate with them with this type of a job that I'm doing, because, you know, to put everybody together to work with you because they are boys is a big challenge. And I took it upon myself not to see it as a challenge, but to encourage them, because I'm in the job, they see me doing it. So I guess it's been God all the way. It's been God, yes, yes. I started the business years back, and I think by now, yeah, 5 years and still counting, and I appreciate God for that. The home service, the home service, the home service. The home service is a wild thing. Initially, when I was in Nigeria, I run a mobile kitchen. So from my experience of the mobile kitchen, so now that I got into this car wash business, I had to think back and pick from the mobile kitchen, like, why can't I do mobile wash? Then I've not even gotten the opportunity of traveling abroad when I was doing the mobile kitchen, because I was into catering before. So it came upon me again, like, why can't I do the mobile wash? Then I had to include the mobile wash, and the response was quite well. It was good. People like dates, my customers like dates. For example, if you are not able to come to my shop and you have my contact, you have my number, you can easily call me or book me ahead and let me come to your offices, to your home, you know, anywhere to come and give you a wash. We don't only wash. What type of, any type of work, like engine work, engine wash, interior detailing, anything that we are doing in my shop on ground, we can as well do in this mobile wash for you. So it makes you, you know, it makes you to be flexible around your job, so to say. You can be in your office, then I'll be doing your wash. You don't have to get done with the office job and then be thinking, okay, at the end of the day, I have to stop by at the car wash and then get the wash. No, you just call me, be in the comfort of your office, then I'll do the job for you at your comfort. The patronage has been awesome. It has been good. I bless God for for people's response, you know, and for accepting me in this job as a woman, as a female, you know, directing, you know, my boys. And now I'm having more girls, more female to work with me. So I really thank God. I appreciate God for that. I like it.
I joined it because I'm surprised that a woman can do same work that man can do it more better. So I myself choose to be like her. I feel so great when we are doing the job and people are coming our car wash. In fact, the way population are coming our car wash, I didn't see it for another place. That means the woman is really serious woman. So me too, I would like to be like her. I've worked with her like 3 months now, but I've learned a lot. I'm still happy because I like the way I'm doing like men, because men do this work, but now I can see that woman can do it better and it brings more customers in our company. That's why I like to do the job, join the job too. After leaving this place, I first of all see myself healthy, because after doing the job, it used to ginger me. My body would be hurting me to do more powerful work like before. Before, I didn't believe that a woman can do this kind of job. But now that I'm entering into it, I know that I can do it and will still go home and do another thing. After living here, my plan is when I leave here, I'll go and start my own and be doing according to our own formal shop here.
My advice to other women who want to go into this job is they should be focused. They should be, you know, they should think outside the box of what they can do. And, you know, not only that, do your visibility study well so that what you can do, wherever you want to get it done, you have to understand the vicinity, know what I can do is what they need in that environment that you wanted to set up the business. And, you know, never back down. Whatever you set your mind to do, please, young ladies, young women, I implore you to just be strong, be yourself, be you, and get it done. Start from somewhere, and at the end of the day, you'll see it growing gradually, little by little, you know. If you have to travel abroad to go and get experience, that's okay. But still come back to your country, and let us build the country together. So that's my advice for the young women coming up who wants to join me in this car wash business.
My name is Barbara Ndubu. I'm the creative director of Oven Secret Limited. I bake novelty, wedding cakes, and every type of cake you think of. After my master's, I went into the job market to search for a job like every graduate would do, but I couldn't find one. So I decided to start up a business, which was this cake business I do currently. So I kicked off this business in 2015 September. Having learned the craft of cake decoration before I got back to Nigeria, that actually helped me to, decide on what to do on the side while waiting for a job. I learned the craft of cake decoration in London before I finished my degree, my master's degree actually. When I started putting in my CV for jobs, and I figured out that it was really quite difficult, I wasn't getting responses. So before I completed my course, I looked out on the internet. I checked websites, and I looked for places where they taught the act of cake decoration, and then I found one in Greenwich, London, which is called Fair Cake. So that was where I went and enrolled, and then learned the craft for 2 weeks. And then the plan was actually just to learn how to bake. It wasn't at that point, I didn't learn that craft because my mind was not in starting up a business. My mind was getting a job, a white-collar job like every other person, But then when it now became so difficult for me to get one, I decided to start this little skill I learned on the side as a business. So I baked for family and friends, and then from there, customers started coming in asking for cake orders. The customer tells us what they want. Depends on who they are ordering the cake for, what the person likes, the football club the person likes, or the person is into fashion, the person is into oil and gas, and then they make their choice and tell you, okay, I want something that has to do with my job. So it's left for us to think about what is going to fit the customer's specifications they have given us. And then when we do that, we go back to the drawing board and start trying to figure out how we're going to arrive at what the customer wants. For cakes like the stadium cake, we go and get the actual picture of the stadium in real life, and then pick up colors, size, and then start baking and decorating. We use molds. There are some cake tools we use that make it easier for us to achieve these complicated designs. So we do it in stages. We bake first. After baking, we do the first covering, and sometimes we have to create those little things on the cake like 2 days before, so they become dry to stand on the cake. So those cake molds and cake tools help us achieve those details on the cake. Yes, it has to do with art. It has to do with art because I think originally I had a flair for art. Like I could draw very well, and so that was a plus when it comes to designing. It helps me walk around creating different designs. Throwing back to my first degree, we had courses where we had to do technical drawing, engineering drawing, and then when we do that, in the engineering aspect, we create 3D designs, 2D, submit assignments. Every single assignment came with a drawing. So somehow that helped me improve my skill of drawing. And bringing it to cakes, it also helped in creating beautiful cakes, because in situations where the customer has no idea of what they have to do, you have to start, maybe draw a sketch or draw an idea of what you want to do before you start baking the cakes. Inspiration. I get inspiration from many things. I get inspiration from things I see. I get inspiration from nature, from buildings, walking on the road, you see a can, like, okay, can we actually bake this can in form of a cake? I also get inspirations from other bakers that are very good in the baking industry, both foreign bakers and Nigerian bakers. When I go to their pages, I see their work and say, okay, this is a building cake or is a house cake. Let me see if I can do that. So that's how I get my inspiration, really. There are a whole lot of challenges, like human resources, getting staff that could do exactly what I do and then do it very well. Yeah, so that's one of the major challenges I've faced. Secondly is because of the baking industry is so saturated, there are a whole lot of bakers. So you have to breaking into the market, like being the number one that everybody comes to order cakes from, has also been a challenge. But somehow when I bake my cakes and put on my social media, I tend to get more customers. Last year, June, I was nominated for Forbes Africa. I thought, it wasn't I just felt I hadn't gotten to that stage where I'll be on Forbes. I mean, I'm still struggling and looking for money. I don't even have money. So what was the whole Forbes thing about? So they made us understand that it wasn't about what you had. It wasn't about your financial, yes, it was about the impact you have made or how far you've gone in your craft and how many years it took you to get there. So they asked for some certain documentations like financial statements, how many staff you have, pictures of your work, where you see yourself in 10 years. So I submitted it. And after I did that, I was picked for stage 2. I got into stage 2 of the screening. And so in the stage 2 of the screening, they also asked us for more things, like we should submit some names of customers that have ordered cakes from us, so they could, call them and ask them if what they ordered from us was good. I did that. They asked for our CV because they wanted to know our educational background. I did that. So after we did all that, I was nominated. I was listed on Forbes 30 under 30 Africa. It's not like it's compulsory. It's in my own case, anybody that finishes school wants to work. You won't just want to sit at home doing nothing. So it's not like it's compulsory. If you have a business that you have to do that is going to do well and you're going to grow in that business, fine, you could go for it. If you find a white collar, if I found a white collar job, I won't be baking. No, I would have been working somewhere. So I believe it has to do with what you actually want. But then the most important thing is not settling or not giving up. Like, okay, I can't find a job, fine. You go into the room or stay in your space and get depressed or get frustrated. You have to keep trying out new things. If this doesn't work, you try this until you find something that works out for you. Yeah, presently every celebration has, if there's no cake in a party, it's like there's something missing. House opening, people want cakes. Baby dedication, people want cake. Birthday parties, even banks order cakes for their customers and for their staff. So the demand for cake is really high. That's actually what is helping us, you get. And then people are going past these basic cake designs. Someone wants to order a construction cake, a stadium cake, a house cake. People are moving past that simple round cake that used to be in vogue in the past. So that's actually helping us, get money. I am part of them, but I'm not the only one, because other bakers are also, there's a lot of competition out there. When you think you've done something outstanding, the next thing you see somebody else do something, very creative. So there are a whole lot of bakers bringing out this new trend in the industry. Now, every day we grow. Yeah. So there's always something bigger than where you are, and you get even, big established entrepreneurs are still going far and improving and expanding their business. Well, I'm still growing. I'm still a small business. I see myself as a small business owner because there are a lot of things that have to come into play: expansion, moving to a bigger place, accommodating people that you can train, and all that. So I just think the growth is constant. In the beginning, it was rough. It wasn't so much. You understand? The struggle was, I wasn't even based in Lagos. I was based in Port Harcourt. That was where I started my cake business. But somehow, it wasn't moving for me in Port Harcourt, and I was still living with my parents. And then I was getting more cake orders from Lagos while I was in Port Harcourt. However, customers refused to accept that, okay, can I send your cake from Port Harcourt to Lagos? So I said to myself, what's the point of staying in Port Harcourt when I have people in Lagos waiting for me, asking for cake? And then so I relocated in 2016 to Lagos. And since I came to Lagos, it's been very, the amount of customers I get has greatly increased. Year after year, the more I improve myself, the more people get fascinated about my work, the more they order the cakes. And then also referrals as well. When I bake cake for this customer, people attend the birthday parties, and then next thing, they take my contact details from my cake and call for more cakes. Okay, this right here is part of an achievement. Not everyone gets to have people walk into their, bakery to get interviewed. I've also been featured on some newspaper publications. I've been featured on Forbes. I made it to the Forbes 30 under 30 Africa list. I've been, recognized by Nigerian Bakers Association. So that's about it. My projection. In 10 years' time or in 5 years' time, I see myself as, I see my business, rather, not myself, as one of the most sought after bakeries in Nigeria. And globally, I see myself being recognized by organizations, investors, and those that appreciate my craft. We bake the naked cakes. We mix the ingredients: eggs, butter, sugar, milk, if necessary. After baking, we keep the cake to cool, because if you cover the cake when it's hot, it will go bad. So we bake, keep to cool for like 2 hours. When the cake has completely cooled, we start decoration. And after decoration, we package and deliver to the client. It's not compulsory to be educated before you could bake cake. Anybody can learn a skill, even someone who is not educated. However, being educated is a plus, because if you plan to run a business, it's going to help you, give you an insight on what to do, how to manage your staff, how to manage your income, how to save, and know when to invest, know when to expand. But then, if you are not educated, you could actually still learn the craft of cake decoration and do well in it. Yes, I do train. I train people. I train students, both online and on site, like hands-on trainings. I have people who come for private trainings. I have other bakers in other states who also invite me to their own facility, and then I train students on how to bake cakes. It's been amazing. I've had a couple of, I've trained at least 300 students so far since I started this business. This is a school actually, when I want to, but then yes, I'm looking forward to have a bigger place where I can accommodate more people and train them. My advice to people out there who are in this position is to develop yourself and not wait for the government or people, family, to put food on your table or to tell you what to do. You go out there, look for a skill. If it's a service-based skill you want to learn, fine and good. You have to just push yourself and make sure you develop a skill that could help you set up a business and just keep pushing. So that's my advice to upcoming graduates who are unemployed.
my channel, as I'll be sharing lots of interesting tutorials and sewing tips on this channel. Today, I'll be sharing with you some professional sewing tips. So, if you will embark on a project, there are few but important things you will need to consider. All fashion designers will want to make clothes that look store-bought, where the inside of the garment will be as neat as outside. So in order to achieve this, you need to consider some tips I'll be listing right now. You're welcome back. The following tips are to be considered if you want to achieve a professional outlook on your garment. Number 1, cut pattern pieces accurately. Take your time while cutting your pattern pieces and make sure you use the correct measurement while you are cutting your pattern. And if you are using the printed pattern, place it accordingly and be able to interpret all signs on your pattern. Like where you see a sign like C, which means you are cutting your fabric on fold, and where you see 2 and X sign, you are cutting 2 pieces, etc. So you must be able to interpret all these signs and symbols in order to achieve a professional outlook on your garment. Number 2, get the right fabric. For the style to come out beautiful and neat, you must get the right fabric for the right style. If you need a stretchy fabric, go for the right percentage of stretchiness. I made a jumpsuit recently and I used a fabric of very little stretchiness and it didn't really come out well. It would have come out well if I used a stretchy fabric to achieve a good and a desirable result. Number 3, press well. Pressing is a very crucial part of sewing that will make you achieve the professional look. Some projects can't just be done without pressing. Open up sewing allowance and press for a neat result. Corners, under the bust, waist, the hems, make sure you press it as much as possible. Also take cognizance of hems, the facings too, and make sure your iron is always in a neat condition. Check the facing of your iron. Check the iron face and make sure the iron face is not rusty. Clean it up if it's rusty before you embark on your project. So check before pressing so that you make sure your iron is in a good condition. Number 4, use a neat seam finishes. The inside of a professional garment must be as neat as the outside. You can finish the raw edges with French seams, zigzag, a zagger in many ready to wear, rolled seams, flat fell seams, and so on. Number 5, pay attention to seam allowance. Your seam allowance must not be bulky. A bulky seam allowance makes pressing difficult, thereby resulting in an amateur work. Make sure you reduce your seam allowance before you close everything up. Make sure you reduce it to like half of an inch. Having a visible seam allowance or a curve that won't lie flat will spoil your project. 6, ensure straight stitching lines, especially when you are top stitching or edge stitching. Make sure your stitching lines are straight and as visible, as straight as possible. Avoid waving and uneven stitches. Number 7, use the right needle and machine settings. Make sure you set your machine well before you start your project. Some needle can just mount thick fabric. So if you are dealing with a thick fabric, go for a needle that will be able to mount a thick fabric. And it can be frustrating when the thread is cutting anyhow in the middle of a project. So make sure things are put in place before you start your project. Test your machine on a scrap piece of project before embarking on it. Number 8, use the right sewing supplies. In getting your sewing supplies like lining, thread, needle, buttons, applique, etc., make sure you get the matching colors where necessary, and most especially supplies that fits your project. Number 9, line up seams accurately. Wherever separate seams meet, make sure the 2 seams match up as much as possible. You can seam rip and start over again to achieve the desired result because it's worth it. Number 10, pay attention to the fit. I always have the picture of my client in mind while making fit the garment because this is the final product that sells me. Input the accurate measurement and cross-check afterwards. If there is any error somewhere, you must make sure you recognize it on time. So with these few points of mine, I believe you have gained one thing or the other. If you can put this into practice, you'll be able to achieve a very neat, beautiful, and professional outlook on your garment. So I will see you in my next video. Until then, stay connected. Hello guys, this is Yinky. I welcome every one of you to my channel, and I say a happy new year to every one of you. I wish you all success in everything we do this new year. Thank you for your support in the previous years. We really appreciate you. And today I'll be taking you through some tips in maintaining your sewing machine and some of your sewing tools. So I'll be starting with the blackhead sewing machine, and the major things you need to do when you are maintaining your sewing machine is dusting of the sewing machine, the oiling of some areas in the sewing machine, and also the general cleaning of your sewing machine. So I will start with the blackhead. Before I move to the blackhead, I mean the manual machine, then I will move to the industrial sewing machine. Then we'll finish up with the overlocking machine. We all know that if you can properly maintain your sewing machine, it saves you time, it saves you money, and it also saves you stress. So you will need to call machine repairers every now and then, because you will have taken care of those sewing machines. It won't develop problem. You also need to avoid friction. Friction is when like two metal meets together. If there is no oil between those metal area, it will cause friction and it will cause your machine to develop problem. So I'll be showing you how to do that. The major parts that are needed to be taken care of in your sewing machine is the presser foot, the bobbin area, and also your needle. Those three major parts is very essential. You needed to take care of those parts while you are maintaining your sewing machine. So let's get started. So we are starting with the blackhead, the manual sewing machine. So the first thing I will do is to clean the surface area. Clean it very well with your brush. So get a good brush, or you can use any type of brush. Just make sure the dirt is removed, and or also get a piece of cloth, a very neat piece of cloth that you can use to clean the table very well, and also the machine. Then this is the presser foot. You're going to make sure you use brush to clean off any piece of fabric, piece of thread that is hanging on the presser foot. So make sure you clean it very well, remove the dirt from the presser foot. Then from that thing that looks like the teeth on the plate, so brush it also. This is the tension. Brush any dirt hanging on the tension. So then the needle clamp, clean it very well. Clean it very well. You can see the dirt I just removed. This is the type of dirt you'll be removing that you'll see. So from here, check the bobbin case. This is the bobbin area. So this is the bobbin housing, the complete bobbin housing. So we are going to clean that part now. So I first of all remove, you can remove it from the underneath like so. Just push your machine forward like so. Then remove the bobbin case. This is the bobbin case that I'm holding. Then the bobbin is inside. We also call it in Nigeria, the bobbin, we also call it reeler. Then we call the bobbin case shuttle. So whichever way, remove it and place it back. Clean it very well. Make sure there is no dirt hanging inside, so that there will be a free movement. So after I have done that, the next thing I will do is to now disassemble the bobbin housing. Then I will do this carefully. I'll first of all remove this. You can see the dirt present there. So this place is always dirty. So if you work very well, this place will be dirty. There's no two way to it. So just clean it very well. Clean it very well. Use your brush to clean it, clean the inside. Just follow it the way I'm doing it. So after you have brushed the dirt off, So replace it back. The way you just remove it, just place it back. But if you are not very sure of yourself, you can leave this part. I mean the bobbin, the complete bobbin housing. So you can leave it if you are not very sure, so that you won't disassemble it and it will be a problem for you to assemble it back. So but it's not something difficult if you can just first of all study it before you remove. So just clip it back, then put the bobbin case. Then the next thing to do now is to go ahead and oil. So you can go ahead and oil your machine. So the first thing you first of all do is just to dust, remove the dirt, remove the threads, and you can go ahead after you have removed dirt. That is when you can go ahead and oil. So you can oil now through all those holes that you can see on top of the machine. Just oil to allow free movement of your machine. So just this area, lift up the presser foot. Just study this area because it makes your work very smooth and neat. So then oil this part. After you have lifted up the presser foot, it will be easier for you to oil. So we are done with the manual sewing machine. The next one that we want to do now is how to maintain your industrial sewing machine. Your industrial sewing machine is not far different from your manual sewing machine. So also that means it's also applicable to it that you clean the bobbin area, also you clean the presser foot, and you check your needle. Make sure you are not using a blunt needle, because a blunt needle can cause more problem in your bobbin area. So after you have done that, you oil some important areas, which I'll be showing you right now. How to oil some important areas. You open up the bottom of your sewing machine. By the time you open it up, you will see those metal areas, so long pipes that like pipe-like structure there that you can see that you can put oil. Apart from the oil that is inside the sewing machine, you also need to oil those pipeline areas. Also, after you are done with that, check your belt if the belt is intact. So we are going to start by dusting the table, dusting the surface area of the sewing machine like we did for the manual sewing machine. Then after you have dusted, then brush it with your brush. Then use a damp cloth. Just put some water, because the table mostly comes in white color. So you need to be very, very careful and take cognizance of this. Clean very well so that it will not be dirty. Clean with water. You can put soap sometimes, but just make sure the cloth is not too wet because of the oil that is underneath. Water must not get inside the oil that is underneath the industrial sewing machine. So that's why you must be very, very careful with that. So I'm going to brush this area also, the tension area, and also the presser foot. So brush it. Then also the bobbin area here. But apart from the bobbin area, inside this place, this part is always very dirty, so you need to brush it. So the bobbin area of this industrial sewing machine is not very difficult. So you just brush. Then you can, this part, there is always dirt inside this that looks like a bowl. Just make sure you clean it very well. You can see, in fact, this tutorial is for my machine because it's very dirty, all the work we did during December period. So I need to clean it. So we are just cleaning it. You can see loads of fabrics inside, the pins, needles. You can see it's very, very dirty. It's very, very dirty. So you need to do all this. You don't need to wait for a machine repairer to do this for you. So just clean all these areas very well. And after you are done with this, it is when you are done with cleaning, removing dirt, that you can go ahead with oiling. So I will take brush and brush the bobbin housing. So this is the bobbin housing that I'm trying to brush. Then I will remove my bobbin case like so, the way I did for the black edge sewing machine. So I will remove it and use my brush to clean it very well, clean the inside very well. So this is normal toothbrush that I use to do this. So after I have brushed that area, then I can put the bobbin case back. So I'll just put it back. No, it's not that
difficult. So this is the oil, the industrial machine oil. It comes in this white plastic. So get a good oil for your machine. Be very, very careful when you are selecting oil. And these areas are where to oil. You can see this. I will remove the cover. So all this small cover, I will remove it. Then I'll get this case that I'm going to use this to oil, because I have lost the one that came with my machine. So I need to get a better one that will be able to penetrate through the hole. So I've gotten this. I've put the industrial machine oil, because industrial machine oil is different from the manual machine oil. So get that. So I'm going to put oil here, then I'll place the cover back. So I'll lift the presser foot from here, then oil the bobbin area. I'm trying to get to the bobbin area through this part. It's very easy to get to the bobbin area through this part. So do this before, like 30 minutes before you want to sew, because this area can stain the fabric if you did not do it prior to sewing. So check the tension, check the belt also. So we are done with this now. We'll move to the overlocking machine, and the same process. Just do the general cleaning, remove all threads, remove all fabrics. You know, this is an overlocking machine, so it tends to be more dirtier than the first two that we have done. So I'm going to brush all these areas, and I did not remove my thread, because we all know that overlocking machine, setting of the thread is very somehow difficult. So it's not a small thing to set the thread of an overlocking machine. So I allow the thread to be there with the thread out.
So there are some parts that has been labeled there on your sewing machine. If you look on top of your sewing machine, you will see oil. The arrow is pointing to a tiny hole that says oil on your sewing machine. That place that is being labeled oil, it means that you should put oil in that part. So check all the areas that has been labeled oil from the manufacturer, then put oil in those areas. So with all these few points of mine, I believe you have learned one or two things on how to daily maintain your sewing machine, that it will not require you to call the machine repair at all times. Until I see you next time, take good care of yourself. Bye.